Well, Nigeria is struggling to tackle various forms of armed violence, including a deadly insurgency in the northeast and sophisticated criminal kidnapping networks. At the National Security Council meeting on Thursday, President Buhari ordered the military to rescue all Nigerians in terrorist captivity unhurt. In a clear indictment, a disappointed president told the security agencies that they were not doing enough to end the security challenges in the country, despite enormous logistics provided by his administration. Buhari noted that his previous directives to the military to end the insecurity in the country had not yielded much results.
Oh, we are being joined now from Kaduna by retired Group Captain Sadeeq Garba Shehu, and here in the studio with us by security analyst Dr. Kabiru Adamu. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us on the news tonight. May I start with you, Dr. Kabiru Adamu? Your thoughts on the president's latest directive, even though some people will say this is not new. However, he's stressing rescue all Nigerians abducted unhurt. How possible is this?
With me? Yes. Yeah, it's a directive, and in my opinion, it's a measurable directive. We have an idea that there are people who are being held by different threat elements. The bandits are holding a significant number of persons. The terrorists in the northeast are holding a significant number of persons. And other criminals are also holding a significant number of persons. So I'm hoping that this measurable directive by Mr. President will be picked up by the coordinating elements within the national security architecture, such as the Office of the National Security Advisor, the Minister of Defense, Chief of Defense Staff, name them, about six of them, will pick up that directive and develop tasking orders from them. And underneath that tasking order would also develop key performance indicators. Now, unfortunately, and perhaps this was said, in the confidentiality of the meeting, the time frame for the achievement of that directive was not made public. So if it wasn't made public, I'm hoping that when they develop these tasking orders and then these KPIs, that they would also include a time frame for the achievement. Now, that would allow us, including the media, civil society organizations, and then internally to measure the performance. Otherwise, unfortunately, it's going to be like the previous directives that were issued by Mr. President.
All right, retired Group Captain, this question is to you. So how do you ensure that this directive, again, does not fall flat on its face? When President Buhari says the military are not doing enough in spite of the provision of logistics, is this not a self-indictment? The president is the commander-in-chief, after all. What do you think is missing, really, in this war against terrorism?
Thank you very much. Really, the statement by the president that he is disappointed, or rather he is not happy with the inability of the security agencies to curtail the security challenges we're having, despite, he emphasized, despite the logistics. In other places, the president has been quoted as saying, I have given them all they want. So definitely for the security agencies, military, NSA, DIA, or police, this is a very serious challenge, because if your commander-in-chief will come out and say, based on what I have given you, I'm not seeing commensurate results, then I want to see the security agencies, all the heads of the security agencies bending down to ensure, because it's like a vote of no confidence, no matter how you look at it. Having said that, what does that mean? The president on his own part, he's been saying he has given the security agencies all that they needed. I've also heard the same message from the legislative. There are many legislators who said there is nothing that the security agencies required that we did not give them. In fact, I was on one platform with a legislator who said not only they give the security agencies what they want, in some instances they even give extra. Now, what does a security agency need in order to perform? Logistics. Logistics in forms of enough personnel, enough funding, enough equipment. If we are to believe the president, and of course there are variables, if you are talking in quantum amount of money and purchases, definitely the Buhari administration has to be given a thumbs up in terms of money. But you see, the problem with security, sometimes it is not the amount of money you budget, it's how you spend it. If you don't follow the money to ensure that the money that is given is actually used for operational related purposes, you may end up throwing a lot of money in terms, because whatever we're talking of Nigerian security budgets, we bring the billions and billions and billions. I will take you back. Just last week, the chairman of the Committee on Appropriation, I think Honorable Betara is his name, from Borno, he gave a shocking statistics which should worry all our people that are in charge of security. He said that 80% of the budget, he mentioned the army particularly, 80% of the budget for the army goes for recurrent expenditure. That 80% amounted, according to him, to about 400+ billion. Whereas capital expenditure, which should go to other things like equipment, like all the operational aspects, is only 20%. It's about 37 billion naira. To me, as a security expert, honestly, this is shocking. How do we allow our security architecture at a time when the country is at war to be spending 80% of the budget or recurrent expenditure and 20%? Certainly something is wrong. So this is where I want, with due respect, I want Mr. President, yes, in terms of numbers, he's doing fine, but in terms of misapplication or converting the money to things that have nothing to do with operations, we may have a problem there. And I think he should have an independent line of communication of confirming that the money he is giving is actually being used for operational purposes. If you give money to the military and they build universities or they build guest houses, certainly that will have nothing to do with operational purposes. So this is what we want to do. But not only the president. I mentioned Honorable Betara, who is the chairman of the Appropriation Committee. What I would task them also, they are in the legislature. They have the right not only to appropriate, but also to follow up. If they have a military that is spending 80% on recurrent expenditure, I don't think they are powerless. The Constitution has given them the power to adjust that. So both the executive branch and the legislative branch, probably while they are giving enough money, they are not following the money to ensure that the money is
oversight functions. Okay, and let me bring it to Dr. Adamu. I wonder if he also agrees. And isn't this a general problem we see with our other sectors, budgeting, recurrent and expenditure, spendings? But let me ask you, because Beacon Security Limited, your company, Dr. Adamu, released the security report for Nigeria for the month of March. And in that report, you admit that the government made efforts, but that obviously the effort wasn't enough. What was missing in the efforts? And do you agree with what the group captain has just said?
We recorded about 1,490 thereabout deaths in the month of March, which was a significant rise from the figure for February 2022. So quite disturbing. Despite these efforts, we're seeing an increase. And for us, we have been mentioning over time that the current, especially kinetic approach by the Nigerian security forces is not sustainable. Where you have a situation, as an example, if the figure given by Honorable Betara is correct, you are spending about 80% of your budget on operational issues, and in an era where the economy is distraught with a lot of challenges, then how it's very likely that you won't be able to sustain those kind of operations. So I think that is partly the challenge, the emphasis on kinetic approach without necessarily looking at the root causes of the security challenges in the country. We talk about unemployment, poverty, proliferation of small arms and light weapons, inability to introduce adaptive measures against climate change, the weak and ineffective criminal justice system that is unable to address issues around grievances. So all of that, frankly, traction has not been made, especially in terms of the coordination between the federal government and the state government in managing some of those issues. So those are some of the reasons we gave for the increase in the fatality rate in the country for March 2022.
Not enough time to explore more. Thank you so much, both of you gentlemen. Dr. Kabiru Adamu, Global Security Analyst at Beacon Consulting, and of course retired Group Captain Sadeeq Garba. Thank you both gentlemen for joining us.